Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving into a fascinating area where, science fiction has basically become a highly specialized tactical reality.
Right.
We're talking about the silent electric dirt bike. I mean, this is a capability that was once just like the absurdity of action films.
Oh, yeah, like Chuck Norris's rocket bike in the Delta Force.
Exactly that. So our mission in this deep dive is to really analyze the military-grade Zero MMX.
And the civilian bikes it was built on, right? The
Yes.
X, the MX, the S, the DS models.
Yes, to really understand how the instant power and simplicity of electric motors just completely transformed military mobility.
It's all about how silence became the ultimate weapon for these off-road operations. It's a complete game changer.
And when you say silence is the ultimate weapon, we need to frame that for everyone listening. This isn't just about being quiet enough to sneak up on someone.
No, not at all. We're talking about actively bypassing the most sophisticated detection systems on the modern battlefield.
Okay, so break that down.
Right. So this whole stealth advantage thing, it really boils down to solving two critical military constraints.
Two main problems they were trying to fix.
Precisely. The first is all about sensor avoidance. Bypassing modern surveillance that detects, well, both sound signatures, and this is the really critical part, heat.
The thermal signature.
A traditional internal combustion engine generates so much heat that on a thermal camera, it doesn't just look warm. I mean, it literally glows.
And the second constraint.
Operational access.
Huh.
These bikes solve the problem of heavy armored vehicles like the JLTV, the Joint Light Tactical Vehicle.
Getting completely bogged down in tough terrain.
Exactly. Terrain that's just too challenging for four wheels, especially, dense mountainous areas or jungle environments. Think about the areas around the South China Sea.
So it fills that major capability gap, where foot patrols are just too slow and armored vehicles are too big, too loud, and way too heavy.
Yep. But to really appreciate the military MMX, you have to start with the engineering foundation that Zero built for the public first.
Let's get into the specs then. This is what enabled that huge leap in tactical design.
So the initial bike Zero brought to market was the Zero X. It was designed as a pure off-road trail bike.
Okay.
But that quickly evolved into the Zero MX around 2010. And the MX was a pivotal step.
Oh, so?
It shifted from just a simple trail bike to a true motocross design. That means reinforced frames, beefier suspension, and the capacity to handle some really heavy jumping and harsh use.
The physical specs immediately jump out, specifically the weight. We're talking about a custom aluminum frame that weighs, 18 pounds?
Just 18 pounds for the frame itself. It's incredible. The original Zero X weighed just 140 pounds overall.
And that 140-pound number is absolutely crucial, isn't it? That's why the military took notice.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just about being nimble. It's about air deployment logistics.
Meaning you can fit more of them on a plane.
That weight is low enough that operators can fit 2, 4, even 6 bikes on a standard logistical pallet. That drastically reduces the operational lift requirement for platforms like the MV-22 Osprey.
And this is all driven by their Z-Force powertrain. Let's talk about the torque profile.
The power delivery is instant. That is the defining feature. The old Zero X had about 20 horsepower, but the 2013 MMX platform was significantly uprated.
To what?
Pushing 54 horsepower and 68 foot-pounds of torque.
Wow. You mentioned instant power. I think I read the Zero X could do 0 to 30 in under 2 seconds.
Under 2 seconds. And on rough terrain, that instantaneous torque means you don't have to worry about, clutch engagement or spinning out. The power is just there.
It just pulls you out of whatever you're in.
Deep sand, thick mud, you name it.
And the controls reflect that simplicity. They basically eliminated the two hardest parts of riding a combustion bike.
Correct. No clutch, no gear shifter, there's no transmission. It's all direct drive.
Just hand-controlled brakes for front and rear.
Yep, hand-controlled hydraulic disc brakes. It simplifies the cognitive load on an operator who's probably already carrying, 60 to 80 pounds of gear?
That simplicity is the foundation of the logistical advantage.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the batteries.
The heart of the machine, the modular battery system.
It sounds almost too easy.
Well, it uses a proprietary lithium-ion power pack array running around 50 volts. But the key innovation isn't the voltage, it's the maintenance footprint.
What's the hidden cost for a commander in the field?
Shockingly low. There is no gas, no oil, no powertrain fluids to manage or source or dispose of.
So maintenance is basically just keep the chain lubed and replace the tires.
That's pretty much it. But here's where it gets really interesting for tactical use. The battery packs are hot swappable.
Neat.
Operators can remove a single screw, no tools needed, and replace the depleted pack in less than a minute.
Under a minute. That speed of resupply is what allows these missions to be extended on the fly.
It's a huge operational asset, and for anyone curious, that civilian MX platform started around $7,500, but that replacement battery, almost $3,000 on its own.
That shows you where the real value is.
That's the cost of mobility. And this brings us right to the Zero MMX. This was not just a modified recreational bike.
No, this was a clean sheet design, developed exclusively under contract for U.S. Special Operations Forces.
For SOF, yeah.
And SOCOM Special Operations Command. They had some extremely specific requirements.
Oh, they did. They needed a rugged, fast, and quiet machine that could be rapidly deployed. It had to be structurally sound enough to be, well, jumped out of aircraft like the MB-22.
The military version demanded specific features then, I assume.
A ton of them. A keyless ignition for rapid departure, specialized dash wiring for things like infrared systems, safety overrides, even a reserve power mode to stretch battery life in an emergency.
They also had to make it waterproof, right, for river operations.
Absolutely crucial. The MMX needed to be able to run even when submerged in up to a meter of water. That's almost impossible to do with a standard combustion bike.
Okay, let's bring it back to that stealth profile. If we put an MMX next to a standard dirt bike, what's the actual audible difference?
It's the difference between a roaring chainsaw and, like, rustling leaves. A standard motocross bike can put out 113 decibels.
Which is deafening.
Right. Even early attempts at quiet bikes, like the hybrid Silent Hawk, only got down to 55 decibels. That's about the volume of a refrigerator. The MMX is even quieter.
So when it's running, you hear
almost no motor noise. The loudest sound is the tires chewing for traction on the ground, or the chain turning.
And thumally, the difference is just as stark.
Entirely. We talked about how internal combustion engines glow under thermal optics.
Right.
Electric motors run so much cooler, they produce a minimal heat signature. They often just blend completely into the background, making them nearly invisible to infrared.
That dual stealth acoustic and thermal is why this technology translates so well outside of SOS missions, too. We've seen the LAPD adopt these bikes for patrols.
Exactly. And the application goes even further when you combine zero noise, zero heat signature, and zero emissions. So no exhaust fumes, no smells. You open up these really specialized non-military roles.
Like what?
Well, the LAPD uses them in big mountainous parks where they have sensitive infrastructure, like gas lines. But think about field biology, or nature study, high-end wildlife photography.
Right. Instead of a loud ATV or a combustion bike scaring off wildlife before you even get close.
You can infiltrate a remote area for observation or photography without the noise, heat, or smell alerting animals that you're even there. The MMX platform's stealth suddenly becomes this incredible tool for conservation.
It's a powerful civilian application, using military engineering to solve completely different problems. But let's get back to the military side. Motorcycles have a long history in warfare.
They really do. They were essential in World War I for relaying messages through all that mud.
And in Korea. Right, Harley-Davidsons.
Over 70,000 Harley-Davidson XAs. And of course, in Vietnam, Green Berets famously used them for hit-and-run tactics along the Ho Chi Minh Trail.
But their utility kind of faded for a while. Why are they making a comeback now?
It's that capability gap again. They bridge the gap between slow foot patrols and heavy armored vehicles. A JLTV is great, but it can't climb a mountain or get through a dense jungle.
The MMX gives small teams high speed and agility where heavier armor is just, well, useless.
Precisely. Which leads to the three primary modern mission sets for these bikes.
Okay, what are they?
The first is reconnaissance. Marine recon units use larger ULTVs like the Polaris MRZR as a kind of communications hub. The MMX teams then push out even further from those hubs, scouting deep into enemy territory.
So they ride out, stash the bikes, and then move on foot.
Exactly. It extends their silent reach dramatically. The second mission is screening.
Pushing out ahead of the main force.
Correct. They get out in front of an armored column or infantry to provide early warning of threats, like anti-tank missile teams or ambushes, without exposing the bigger, slower main force.
And the third role is where it gets really interesting. Direct action raids.
This is where we see some surprising applications. We've seen the Ukrainian military adapting this concept, strapping anti-tank missiles like the NLAW to the back of electric bikes.
For mobile anti-armor raids. Incredible. And for U.S. forces, how does it help with something like targeting?
It allows a small team, like a sniper or a JTAC, a joint terminal attack controller, to infiltrate deep behind enemy lines.
A JTAC's job is to call in airstrikes.
Right, so they can use the MMX to get in, designate a target for a laser-guided munition, maybe from 6 miles away, and then exfiltrate silently before anyone even knows they were there.
It's impressive how quickly this is being standardized.
Yeah.
Recon Marines are testing these bikes everywhere. Deserts, Alaska.
And they're planning for super wet jungle training in the Philippines. Logistics are key. They can be carried by almost any aircraft, CH-53s, Ospreys, Chinooks.
And they've been successfully airdropped, right?
Yep, from a C-130 Hercules, using the JPAD system, the Joint Precision Airdrop System, it validates their potential for immediate remote deployment anywhere.
But this is where the physics of electric power becomes a huge tactical challenge. Let's shift to the drawbacks. What's the nightmare scenario here?
The major headache, which any EV owner knows, is range anxiety. But, magnified tenfold.
Because it's life or death.
Exactly. The official off-road range is listed at 50 to 100 miles. But operators report that in really harsh terrain, carrying a full load, that high-energy draw can deplete the batteries in as little as 20 minutes.
20 minutes. That basically turns a mission into a scramble for survival.
It's a huge tactical failure point, and it's tied directly to the weight penalty. Each bike carries 2 battery packs, weighing about 40 pounds each.
So operators have to carry less gear to stay under the payload capacity.
Yes. They're trading protection or sustainment less, ammo, less water for that stealth and mobility.
And once the power's gone, recharging is a mission killer. You can refuel a gas bike in a minute. Recharging takes hours.
It does. It creates a sitting duck scenario. And these batteries, they don't like extreme temperatures. Severe heat or cold can cause them to fail or degrade really quickly.
What about solar panels?
They've tested them, but they require long periods of full sky visibility, which, completely compromises the stealth advantage they're relying on in the first place.
The Marines are also giving feedback on the bike's design. What flaws are they pointing out?
The feedback is practical and vital. They said the front suspension needs to be improved for heavy landings. Also, the motor cuts off if the bike is dropped, which is not what you want in a firefight.
That seems like a big problem.
But maybe the most frustrating issue is the LED display. It's crucial for monitoring your battery level. It shuts off when you deactivate the running lights for a nighttime stealth mission.
You're kidding. So the one time you absolutely need to know how much power you have left to get out, the display goes dark.
Exactly. It makes tactical battery management incredibly difficult. And you can't overlook the hazmat concerns of transporting all these high-energy lithium-ion batteries on a ship. It's still a very young program.
So what does this all mean for the future of mobility? The electric motorcycle isn't just a recreational shift. It's fundamentally changed tactical mobility by making noise, heat, and smell non-factors.
It's filling a niche that nothing else can. Not combustion engines, not heavy armor, not even drones that can't get through a thick jungle canopy.
It offers that unique blend of agility and stealth.
It really does. But the final provocative thought for you, the listener, is this. The future of this technology hinges on solving the complex logistical puzzle of remote, fast, and secure energy supply.
The charging problem.
The charging problem. The MMX platform uses the SHADE-MO fast charging standard. That's a civilian technology. So the question is, how will that civilian-focused standard need to evolve to support decentralized, mission-critical operations all over the world, ensuring these units can recharge quickly without compromising their safety? That is the real challenge ahead.